You remember back in the day when you could kind of just do anything you wanted, if that makes sense? Specifically, I'm talking about gaming. Of course, we're going to keep this topic going because I love gaming, I don't know. It's like, how do you even explain what gaming is to you without making it seem like that's your only personality? That's kind of like what I feel about it. Even though low-key, I do make it seem like it's my whole personality. But at the same time, I hate when people talk bad about it, as if it's like the end of the world. I remember being younger, you could play for hours without stopping and not even have a blink of the eye. It kind of feels like I'm just talking about being a child, which I am. I mean, we all miss it. I'm pretty sure I do. I fucking hate getting up and going to work. My back hurts so goddamn much. Today, everything just feels like so slowed down. It feels like I'm mentally drained, almost. All these things can amount to less free time, more stress, and ultimately just not enough time to really do anything throughout the day. Not in a downward spiral, but a downward hill. But it's slowly plateauing, and maybe it's going up on an incline to somewhere new. It just feels like whenever I get home from work after, being there for 9-10 hours, it feels like I just did a 50-hour shift. I want to just get home and throw myself on my bed and then sleep for 10 hours and then wake up and then try and do it all again for the next 4 or 5 days until I have a day off. Because free time it feels like having free time is so expensive. It feels like it costs so much of your life just to have a little bit of free time, to be able to do anything that you want with the little bit of time that you have. And I'm not talking about life expectancy or like living a long life. I mean like the time that you have free per day, or whatever time that you make to have free time. Sometimes, you could make time to hang out with friends. High school, middle school, maybe you had good friends in elementary school that you kind of remember. You would always try to hang out with them. Lunches, breaks, after school when you were younger. All that was awesome. We all remember that time. But now I'm talking about when you're an adult, just trying to relax. You hop on the game, you have all your gaming buddies. They could be friends that you knew in real life, or friends that you just met, or friends that you've had online that you've known for a long time. But then they just suddenly go offline one day and to never show back up. I'm sure we all have that same thing happen to us. Then it really does suck. It's unfortunate. But time passes, people move on, they get lives, maybe they sell their console and they don't buy another one, or they lose their accounts. You never contact them because you forgot to get their information. It just kind of sucks. So getting away from that little sad topic kind of brings me to getting older and kind of moving away from games that I used to play as a kid. I mean, I still play kind of the same games. Mostly I grew up playing Call of Duty, Halo, Minecraft, old skate games, pretty much everything I played, but mostly Call of Duty and stuff like that. But I feel like I'm a lot pickier about what I play, and I've come to realize this a lot, that I don't really like first-person shooter games anymore. I feel like they're too much of a chore to play. Everyone's just too good. Definitely lost a lot of my skill. I remember Black Ops 2 days, I was just a monster running through lobbies. But I feel like nowadays I just enjoy single-player games. I mean, and I just feel like I like short, impactful sessions, or long, impactful sessions, rather than playing endless grinds of these games like nowadays. Like Destiny, for example. I remember when Destiny 2 came out, I grinded it day one. Up until about a couple years ago, when the Witch Queen DLC came out, I just kind of stopped the game because I just wasn't enjoying it. The more I grew up, I just felt like it was too much of a chore to play that game. It just didn't make any sense to me. Before Destiny, actually way before Destiny, back in 2013, 2014, it was Rust on PC. That game, nowadays, I just look at it and I just total disgust because, oh man, especially seeing what the game has turned into. This can be like a whole nother video. I'm not going to get into it, but I got 2,000 hours in that game. Nothing recently, all from 2015, 2016. But just too much of a grind. I don't like grindy games. I mean, unless it's something that I'm into. Like recently, like right now, Battlefield 6 is coming out. That game I'm probably gonna grind because it really gives me that itch that I've been looking for. Good gameplay, not much of a grind. You put in the work for the grind. You don't really get anything for free unless the developers say so, you know what I mean? I don't know, it's hard to find that game that helps me relax, if that makes sense. And if we want to put this into a real life perspective, nowadays, it kind of feels weird to say this, but it feels like when you do something right in real life when you're older, it's more rewarding than sorry to budge into the video, but I actually meant to say less rewarding. I don't know why I said more rewarding, but when I was editing the video, it didn't really make any sense to me, but I realized I meant to say less rewarding, so that's my fault. Getting a trophy in a game. I mean, I didn't even care about trophies or achievements when I was younger. I mean, yeah, they were cool. Grind. I remember Halo 3 had some like really crazy achievements. Trying to grab all the skulls from the campaign and then use them, or even just completing a simple achievement. Anything. It did feel rewarding, I will say, but when you get older, it's like, dude, who really cares, man? Maybe that's a hot take. Maybe it does mean something to a lot of people, but I look at achievements, I'm just like, okay, that's cool. But now what? But it feels like whenever you do something good in real life too, I guess I might be a little bit of a hypocrite because I'm saying that it is better, but I feel like real life achievements are both good and bad, because also, who cares besides yourself? Which I guess you could argue that, you know, that's good that you care about your achievements. You like to see yourself grow. But at the same time, even for me, I feel like, okay, like what's next now? Like, do I just keep going, or when am I going to plateau myself, you know? Is it really that big of a deal? Does it really matter? And does gaming really have to be my only hobby amongst many? Can it sit beside other hobbies? Can there be more hobbies than just gaming? Can gaming even be considered a hobby? I don't know. I think society's way of looking at gaming was always terrible. Even my dad growing up always thought it was so stupid that I wanted to sit inside all day, play games, not go outside. You know, I do go to work. I do have my responsibilities. I do get that done. That is 100%, you know, true. But when I get home, I expect myself to not do anything besides just relax, chill on Discord with my homies, play a game, maybe stream, have fun, just relax. But it just feels so hard nowadays. Maybe in a sense, gaming just hasn't gotten worse. Maybe I've just changed as a person. Sometimes I just don't feel joy in what I play nowadays, and I notice it a lot. I'll buy a brand new game costing upwards of $30 all the way to $60 or $70 like they want to charge nowadays. That's an insane price, by the way, but I don't know. Maybe I've changed. My perspective on gaming has changed. Sometimes I come home, look at my games library, and I just think, what the hell am I doing? And I just end up watching YouTube or going to bed, you know. But I don't know. I feel like it's just a me thing. It's all a mind trick. I need to put my mind towards something else. Gaming can always be there. I'm always gonna make time for gaming. It's in my blood. I don't know. That feels terrible to say, but even gaming as an adult, you know your limits. You know how much you can and can't do. I just think you have to set your own limits, which is what I'm trying to do as a person. I'm never gonna limit myself to anything, because I don't think you should. Maybe I'm contradicting myself. My thoughts are all over the place in this recording. I'm sorry if something contradicts each other. Just let me know in the comments, and I'll try to reply. I don't know. I feel like getting older just doesn't really ruin gaming. It just changes it, and I think I'm okay with that. And just like last video, I had ChatGPT make me this little cool quote that kind of ties what I'm trying to talk about. And it wrote, "Games don't stop being fun. We just start valuing the time that we have to play them."